let's get into it. However you wanna do it, keep it cute or ruthless. I got steppers that got bazookas. Shoot 'em up, spit 'em out, and I stepped on 'em. They say two wrong, don't make 'em right, but one left gon' get 'em gone.
I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just
Let me introduce myself. I just realized, guys, I just popped up on the scene, didn't do no introduction, didn't welcome you guys to my channel. Thank you for being here. And guess what? If you feel my vibe, like, subscribe, and drop down in the comments and say, what's up to you, girl? My name is Latricia, and this is my treehouse, and y'all are my play pals. The reason I call you play pals, I learned a very valuable lesson about calling people friends. Now, this has been a real journey. As I take a deep breath and laugh, thinking to myself, somebody got to be punking me. Like, am I on candid camera or something? Every day I'm looking for the camera crews to pop out and say surprise. But child, it ain't no cruise. This is real life, and it's my life. So as you journey with me through the different timelines of my adventurous and sometimes turbulent, like a lot of times turbulent, like most of the times turbulent life, I invite you to dive into your own heart healing journey. It's extremely challenging. In fact, I'm telling you now, you're going to feel like you're losing your mind most of the time. You're going to feel like an emotional roller coaster. But what I can assure you of, it is well worth the freedom, the rebirth, the peace, the rejuvenation that comes with being your whole authentic self. And sometimes the road to that, you will make a lot of enemies. The people who are used to you being one way and then you change, it confuses them. So they looking for the old you the whole time. The new you is surfacing. You rising like the phoenix. So I invite you to explore your timelines, then release what no longer serve you. Your highest good, your greatest good, your supreme wellness, and most of all, your peace. Remember one thing, if they didn't give it to you, they couldn't take it away. Now, I'm not going to hold y'all long because I am not no pastor, and I can't stand when people don't get to the point. So I'm going to get to the point. I said something the other day that I've had really good times with people that I never said another word to, and I meant that. I have to put this out though before I start saying it, that I have some really good memories of these people. Like when I was I think 10 years old in the Bluebirds. It was my birthday and I just knew I was going to get to that building and it'd be decorated for my special day. But it was not. So I'm feeling some type of way. I'm like, I know ain't nobody saying happy birthday to me. Like, okay, I'm with a whole bunch of girls. And if you know what the Bluebirds are, it's kind of like Girl Scouts, but it's like the baby ones. And they used to have a lot of Bluebirds back in the day, Bluebird groups. And it's like semi Girl Scouts. But that's neither here nor there. I was in that, okay? And it was my birthday, so nobody wasn't saying that. And I'm like, what's wrong with them? They don't know it's my birthday. Like, this is the queen birthday. I was a child and still felt like, look, I'm special. Ain't nobody gonna say happy birthday to me. I know they not, because that's how I am. I would make it my business to say to somebody, happy birthday, just as soon as I see them. So I'm feeling some type of way, like I know they know this. So anyway, we get home. I'm feeling some type of way on the car because I'm like, okay, so my mama must be taking me somewhere. Somebody taking me somewhere. Something gonna happen. Like the night is almost over and nobody is saying nothing. So we go straight home. I'm really looking crazy now because I'm like, we ain't going to no restaurant. Like, what is going on around here? So when we get in the house, it's quiet. And my mama say, go put your stuff up in your closet. I think it was my coat because my birthday is this month. Keep that in mind. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting. So I was like, okay, so I go put my coat. And I'm kind of stomping to the room, but not too hard because she'd beat me, baby. But anyway, I'm going to the closet and I put my coat up. I open the door to put the coat up. And baby, when I tell you all the girls from the Bluebird jumped out yelling surprise, They scared the sugar honey iced tea out of me, baby. I was like, huh, but I was so relieved. Like they didn't forget. They loved me. It was amazing. I felt so loved by my friends and family. I was happy was an understatement. Like they pulled it off. Because normally somebody would sneak and say something and I'd catch on like, oh, they having me a party. But this particular time, oh, they was good. They didn't say a word. Nobody hinted nothing. It was nothing. So once, the party began, different people was telling me like, well, I almost said it. Or you remember when I said this and I caught myself? I was like, oh, so y'all holding secrets. Little do I know, it ain't the only secret they was holding. But we gonna get to that, okay? That house I was in, it had a lot of special memories to me. Like one time, my daddy, he owned like I don't even remember how many Volkswagen Beetles, the little bugs, and he had every color. And it was Christmas, and he decorated every one of them. Like he had a snowman on one. Like it was so cool that people would come and ride down our street just to look at all of those old Volkswagens he bought. Like I don't even know if they worked for real. Now that I'm thinking about it, like a few of them did. I think the white one worked. It was a baby blue one, and then the yellow one. That was my favorite one. I remember them three. But it was some other ones. He had a couple of them. Like, he had some of them now. Don't get me wrong. He had them doggone Beetles. He just was in love with them little cars. And so he bought them. Like I say, I don't even know if they work. But I have memories that I can hold on to for lifetimes. And like I said, these new revelations in my later years about the secrets that a family will hold, I still have those good memories to hang on to. And that is a choice. I'm going to choose to hold on to those memories. Although some of those people I will never say a word to again, I'm going to hold on to the memories that we did share. I don't want to seem like, oh, she's another person getting on here dogging her family, because I'm not doing that. I'm just speaking my truth. And my hope is with me speaking my truth and being 100% real with myself, it'll encourage you guys to do the same. Now, it's a lot of moving parts to some of the stories that I tell, but the thing is, they'll all fit into the last one, because what I'm thinking is I'm going to have to do these things in parts because it is a lot of stuff to unpack. So let's go back to the 10-year-old, my 10-year-old self. I was a happy kid. I was the oldest child and the only child for 7 years. I was a daddy's girl. At this point in my life right now, I have currently lost both of my parents. And it's been a road for me because unfortunately, when a lot of older people pass away, it creates a division with the younger people. I see that oftentimes, not just in my family, but in a lot of families. One major person pass away and the whole family just get torn apart. But you know what that says to me? It was never built on a strong foundation to begin with. Because things built on a strong foundation, they don't crumble like that. So this 10-year-old girl, I would say about 8 or 9. My parents, in their early years, like I said, I was the only child, so a lot of things I know, my younger siblings don't know. That's part of something that upsets me because when I'm speaking the truth about things that happen, I get a pushback from them. And when I say they're younger, I have one that's 7 years younger than me. I have one that's 10 years younger than me and one that's 15 years. So it's not like 1 or 2 years where another child was coming up and remember this. It was cycles. I'm cycles older than them. So a lot of things that I know, they don't. So it frustrates me sometimes when I'm trying to tell them how I draw some of the conclusions that I would draw. And they would be, and try to dismiss it. That has been their key, to dismiss the things that I say because they don't want to know the truth. Once I decided that I'm going to live in truth and continuously live in truth, there's nothing that anybody can say to me. Because one thing I've never been is a liar. So back to this story. I think I was like 8 years old. They had a really rough relationship. I was a daddy's girl, of course. And seems to me it was a lot of jealousy. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. My mother was the only daughter. She had brothers. And her mother was very, very, very strict on her. So these are things that she said to me. She got married because they wouldn't let her out the house. She couldn't go to the college she wanted to go to. So her way out, she worked. She was a substitute at a school. And she married my dad at 20 and had me at 21. So just imagine that you're a grown up and your parents are strict. They got you at home. So I do empathize with her on those things. So, she kind of started getting out here or there. But one of her homeboys was in the military. And my dad was in the military with him. That is how they met. The friend brought my dad to our little town and he met my mom. 3 months later, they was married. Why? This just came out of her mouth to me. And I'm not doing no exposing. You see, where I'm from, people think you don't never say nothing about your parents and this and that. But I'm a firm believer that if you hold things in, it'll destroy you. And I'm not being disrespectful. I love both of my parents. I love my mother and I love my father. Now, I was a daddy's girl. My mama didn't like me much, but I love them and I still love my parents. I'm just speaking my truth for my health, okay? For my peace, for my opportunity to speak my peace. So anyway, my mom was telling me that she told him she was pregnant. They had a wedding inside of a house on Truth Street. And that night, her cycle came on. Ain't that something? So I've heard parts of this story from my daddy as well. He felt deceived. He used to say, she told me she was a teacher. It was just a lot. And I get it because she was in a situation and she seen a way out. This is a military man. I'm going to get out of here. And I mean, hey, people make mistakes. We all learn. So anyway, she was a little jealous and my daddy was a very outgoing man. So like he would go out, like they were in social clubs. Like I can remember the time my parents would get dressed up and they would go out and their friends would come over. Like it was rocky, but it also had a lot of good times, which balanced the times out because really and truly, when it was really rocky, nobody was there but me and my daddy and her. So it's always been that. It's just been us three. And to some degree, my dad got really, really bitter because the direction his life went into, that's not where he wanted it to go. And he felt like it was her fault, so to speak. So when she wasn't home, trust and believe, we heard that. Oh, baby, everybody was ignorant. Like he would just be going off. And I'm like, why is this man so mad? Now, everybody loved him. All my siblings, my kids, my mama used to say to you, y'all think that's y'all God and this, that, and the third. But my daddy was a loving man. And even in his times of being seeming to be bitter or angry, especially at me. But this is what I'm getting to. The reason being was I had prayed that I would rather have two happy parents than two parents that was together. So one Christmas, I think I was 8 or 9, people would ask me, aunties now, because my mom didn't have any sisters, but she had a great aunt, my grandmother's sister, that was kind of not that far in age from her. So they were really close. But I was telling her, they would ask me, like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, them two to get a divorce. It was because my nerves was bad. I was the only child there. And I remember times she would be beating on the door with a powwow. Y'all know what that is, trying to get him because he went out. And it was just a lot. I would take off running to my grandma's house crying and I'm shaking. It was like, they just thought I was going to have a little nervous condition because I was like, she going to kill my dad. Oh my God, she going to take my daddy out. I'm just panicking and whatever. So I was tired of going through that. So I wanted them to be separate so I could enjoy them both and have some peace. But here's the thing. My daddy left. He left. Yes, he left. Around, I think I was 9, he left and he moved to Houston. Okay. That's very important. So, guys, keep that in mind. So he moves to Houston. He leaves us, and I'm sick. I'm like, oh my God. And then he left me with this lady, and she don't like me. Because once I remember she put him out and she put me out too. Why was we sitting on the porch together? And I'm looking at my dad like, well, what we gonna do now? And some of this stuff I really could laugh about because it's funny, but your childhood really does shape the person that you are. Little did I know what I was truly dealing with. Like, I did know my mom had a nervous breakdown right before, like about 21. We had a trailer, and what she told me is they had put her on Valium. But one day I almost crawled out the back door of that trailer, and the neighbor saw me and ran and caught me, and she was in there passed out on the Valiums, so she stopped taking them. She was like, I couldn't take that no more. So anyway, long story short, she would just spaz out on him, and it was just so much to I would be like, I can't take this. These people driving me crazy. And I didn't have no siblings at the time. Well, no, I did. My brother, he was born. But he was a baby. Like, he couldn't help. Nobody could help me. My grandmother really couldn't help nothing. I mean, she would call and, fuss or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And y'all got this girl nervous over here. She crying or whatever, with all that arguing and going on or whatever she would say to him. Because everything would get back to him. So anyway, when I would say to them to get a divorce, that's what I wanted for Christmas, little did I know that was getting back. But he left. My daddy left. And I was sick. I couldn't believe it because I was like, if he left, he could have just took me. We ended up moving into the projects. That was brief, okay? But we did move into projects after he left. Well, the summer came and I wanted to go live with him. I wanted to go visit him at least, and we did. Me and my brother, we both got to go visit my daddy. And at the time, he was an engineer on the railroad. My daddy made a lot of money. He was a short man too, boy. He would go to work with his Stacey Adams shoes on, and he would be clean too, boy. So anyways, he came and got us, and we came to Houston. And baby, when I tell you we had a blast that summer, he had arranged like who would watch us because my mom had relatives on her daddy's side that she really wasn't close to, but they lived in Houston. So they were cool with my daddy. They was real cool with him. So that's who watched us. My Aunt Hannah, she watched us and her husband would make me some chicken feet. I used to love them, honey. I was like, I'm eating it. So anyways, I loved going over there. Like, I loved being with my family and meeting people I never seen. And Houston was a big city different from where I was. Small town country girl. You know what I'm saying? It was so many people. It was beautiful to me. I was like, I'm going to live here forever. So anyways, the summer came and we had a good time. My dad would go to the credit union and get out like $1,000. Now, mind you, back then, that was a lot to me. Like, I'm like, yes. And he would just blow it on me and my brother. He took us to Galveston. He took us to Pasadena. Like, he would take us to fancy restaurants. He had friends that was doctors that lived in Missouri City, Texas. Like, I met a black dentist. I had never seen that. I was from a small country town with predominantly white people. So black people worked, but not professional, so to speak, jobs other than basically teachers. You know what I'm saying? At that time. Because we did end up getting a black doctor in my little town. But at that time, it wasn't common. So I moved to Houston. I'm seeing people moving and shaking, baby. They having things. And I'm like, okay, this the life for me. This is what I'm going to have right here, baby. It's on and popping. So at that point, I'm telling my dad, like, look, I don't want to go back. She's mean to me. Sometimes she make me call you on the phone and lie about stuff so you can send money. And then I'm lying because now, first of all, you get your butt whooped for lying. But now that your mama telling you to lie to your daddy, it's like, I'm in the middle. Like, I don't like this. And then I'm knowing what's really going on. And I'm lying to him. And he's like questioning me because he's already knowing that she kind of behind it. But I can't say that because I'm going to get beat. So anyway, he said, okay, good. I'm going to keep y'all. So he calls my mom and tell her, they want to live with me. That right there was the turn in my life. 10 years old, up until both of them passed away. They had anger with me. I never realized how bad my mom hated me. She used to tell me all the time, I love you, but I don't like you. And I never could understand. Like one day we talked and she said, well, I always wanted a daughter and you came out so crazy about your daddy and I felt rejected. And I was like, but mom, like she was sticking to it too, baby. She was sticking to it like I had made up my mind. I was like, I was a child. Like, how are you mad at a 5-year-old being a daddy's girl? So this was her excuse. But later I found out she made it her life's mission to make me miserable because she felt like it was my fault that her husband left her when I was 10 years old. So in her mind, I was never going to have the white fence, the white picket fence, the house, the husbands, and the kids. But I never knew how far she was willing to go. This lady cursed me. Like, I mean, real life, rooted, tooted, voodoo, hoodoo, whatever, with spirits that wasn't mine on top of me. So I could be overlooked, not just with men, but with all things. It was fixed because she wasn't the only one. Like this goes deep, guys. And if I'm going to be real and I'm going to heal, I got to tell you the truth. And that's about everything. So it's part 1 of the life of a genius. No, I'm just playing. I do clown a lot, y'all. I'm freestyling this, so it might be all over the place, y'all, but follow me and you will get down this rabbit hole with me about how a mother can voodoo her daughter to be alone her whole life. Like to be nothing. Like they didn't want me to be anything but living from hand to mouth. It's so bad because why it's going to make sense to you guys. It ties into what is going on with me today because some of those people made different partnerships with other people as we got older, and to keep this secret going they had to let another person in and another person in, but who was not supposed to find out is me, and I know it all, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. Just hanging there with me. Healing is a daily thing, but I encourage you guys to get a pen and paper and get to writing down because it feels so freeing when you can be honest and you really know what's going on in your life. You can make plans and go in different directions you never thought you could. You just got to unlock it. I'll be back with part 2. I love y'all for real. Peace.